because it's spreadable.
Do you want to test my level?
Oh my gosh, there's red everywhere.
Red everywhere.
Oh dear Lord. Crank that down a little bit, right? My poor Beringer. All right, that's good. That's good. Whoa. Is that live? We're not live yet. Whoa. Now we're live. You are now live. All right, cool.
Are we?
We're recording
Are we
too.
podcast live
We're
yet?
good. We're good to go. We're doing it
podcast
live.
live?
Yeah.
All right.
What's going on, everybody? We're back again.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you have to listen to us again. Look at that. Our voices.
Welcome back.
We have some guests today.
Episode
What is this? Five
or something.
We're gonna run out of. Yeah, we're gonna run out of Star Wars puns real soon. I think. You know what's 9?
No, you can never run out of Star Wars puns.
I mean 9's the limit.
No.
We just ended.
No.
There's not 10.
I'll make a 10th.
Yeah, you can. All right, so Riley's gonna come up with titles after the 10th.
Yeah,
The ninth one.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the 9th one. It's just, my title's gonna be "It Sucked." That's all, because that movie's terrible. But my opinions aside,
Back to bikes.
yeah, back to bikes. Today we have our second guest episode technically now, right?
Kinda, yeah. That last one wasn't quite planned, but
Spur
it
of the
worked
moment.
out.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Bringing his communist ideals to bike to Lift Talk.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Hey, we all need everyone's different opinions.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not going to hate
We need
on somebody.
perspectives.
Yeah, that's exactly the point of it.
so I think I was thinking we would start this off by chatting about Ed. What was your experience riding bicycles in, say, high school or even middle school? Did you even know what a bike was?
Oh my God. Okay, so when was this? In the 90s?
I don't know.
That was a time.
I wasn't
That was
there.
a time in the 90s when I rode bikes when I was a kid, and basically it involved old trash bikes and BMX, like my Haro, my GT, a Huffy, like nothing cool. I think Specialized was like the coolest thing to me back then. But basically, I would assemble trash bikes and ride in the woods, but nothing organized. It was basically just like as an escape with a bunch of kids doing hood rat stuff and not
All right,
be at the
so
house.
you rode around
know?
with some people.
Yeah,
Cool.
some peeps. Yeah, but nothing to an extent of being any semblance of organized with anything. You know, and no adult supervision, nothing, no goals, just idiots, basically. A lot of pain, a lot of crashes, but then I stopped.
Yeah.
So, and apparently we've come a long way since then.
We have.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are we
I'll-
what are we
I'll
going to talk
kinda-
today? Go ahead.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, much more recently than Ed.
A lot more recently. I'm not that old, you know. I have gray in my beard, but you know,
It still wasn't the 90s.
I'm an elder millennial.
It still wasn't the 90s. So in my high school, I kind of made up our own cycling team. It was like 3 of us. And we all rode together. But yeah, we're going to chat about today NEHSCA, New England High School Cycling Association, with some NEHSCA Bobcats. And we're going to chat with them about like the fancy new way to get into cycling when you're young.
When you should do it, because put it this way, when you're younger, you bounce, basically. Get hurt less, right? And you're usually better. Like, I mean, example, skiing. They teach kids now without poles, and like you see a 7-year-old flying by you, and I'm like, man,
Without poles?
no, that's the method, I guess. Now I don't know. It looks insane to me. So get out there where you're young, because of your skills at this point. If I started when I was young, I'd be much sicker than I am now. Come on, let's be serious. I'm pretty terrible. But yeah, I can't believe that is something like this that we didn't have when we were kids. You know?
Yeah.
If I had something organized like this, I think when I was younger, I think it would have been on a much better continuous path.
And I think that's what most of us older folk these days are saying about NEHSCA is like, man, I wish I had it when I was a kid. But yeah, we'll get into like what that means first. I think we'll go around, have everyone introduce themselves, and say, "Hello, my name is blank. I'm a
my favorite
member-
color is this. I have my favorite bike is this.
My bike, yeah,
Yeah,
bike.
whatever you want to say.
Where you go to school, maybe.
There's no limits. Be creative.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
life goals,
Let's-
including
including
small
you,
things.
Craig. We want to know where you go to school.
Yeah, school of life.
Where is that?
School of Rock.
School of Hard Knocks. Yeah, School of Rock. I like that.
All right, who wants to kick us off here?
Grab it. You're close to the mic. Go ahead.
All right.
Pick it up. Pick up the mic.
I'm Aiden Blake. I've been riding for my life.
Your life?
Yeah, basically.
All right.
Started out riding KT.
Yes.
I've been on Bobcats for about 4 years.
4 years. Okay. So you're almost ground level.
Yeah.
All right.
basically.
All right. All right.
I came in with 2 years to spare.
Is there an age cutoff? No, right?
We'll chat about that.
No, okay, all right.
We'll chat about that. We'll get to that.
My name is Nikhil Barnick. I've been riding since.
Go ahead, pick that thing up. Go ahead. There you go.
I don't know how long.
There you go.
I go to Apponequet Regional High School.
Okay.
I've been on the Bobcats for 3 years.
All right. That's a good amount of time then. All right. Yeah.
I'll go first. I'm holding Instagram live, so there we
He's
go.
got an
I'm
important
living,
job.
you're living.
Yes.
No, that's not going to happen.
we need more cameras somehow.
I think we need to get like a quad Instagram going.
Yeah.
This is all promoting the podcast. It's for you.
We need an unpaid intern to video everything. you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Point
Any
the camera that
any
way.
Bobcats
Or
that want
a
to
robot. Yeah.
engage in
Unpaid
slave labor.
So,
It's capitalism.
name Craig Blake, one of the coaches of the Bobcats, and I've been riding bikes since I was a kid. My
Excellent.
dad was super into biking. He used to do bike trekking all over New England. He'd like pack his bike up for a week with his buddies and go from bread and breakfast to bed and breakfast, and used to bike. And used to take us out. We like do 30 miles on a Saturday. Just
Who
for
would
fun.
do that kind
Dear
of thing?
Lord.
Bike packing.
He was
I
bike
don't
packing
know.
before it was
I
a
don't
thing.
know.
though.
before it was cool.
I think you do that some days.
So my first bike was a blue foam handlebar 10-speed that I think was a Univega. if I'm
Nice,
remembering it
nice.
correct.
I remember that brand.
Yeah, the shiftings was all
On the
nice and
Yep,
smooth
yep.
and all that.
Univega.
I got into mountain biking in college back in the early 90s. Was in Vermont. Bunch of my suite mates all biked, and we just biked a lot. And
I mean, Vermont, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just like the thing to do. And we started a mountain biking club. It wasn't a team,
Nice.
and we just rode lots of bikes all day
Yeah.
long. And then I graduated, and real life hit, and biking kind of took a back seat. But then as family grew and my son Aiden got into it, re-sparked an interest and an enthusiasm that we've been excited to jump back into, and luckily found NEHSCA and the Bobcats. So it's allowed us to get back in, and it's been a great experience, and one that we're happy to talk about today. So.
Now you're in deep. Now you're back in deep. That's what happens. I usually,
back in
I did the same thing,
But you know what's cool? I can afford my bike. Yeah.
No.
Way more fun,
That's
right?
the best part.
Yes. Yes.
All you.
All you, man.
It's all me.
Yeah.
So my name is Nick Barnick. I'm Nikhil's dad. Let's see. I got into biking. I think I got my first bike in 1975, and it was a Columbia from the
Nice.
60s that my dad picked up in a garage sale. And like Ed, I'm imagining what you did, but what I did with this bike was I butchered it and
Yes.
I rode it in the trails.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the joke that my family had is they called it the chicken bike. I don't know why they called it the chicken bike, but anyhow, it was more like a Frankenstein bike.
Frankenbike.
So that was my first bike, and I just had a series of crappy bikes growing up. And then I think when I was a freshman, I got a Team Murray X24 BMX bike. Again, that I rode all over the place, and I still have that bike. I resurrected it.
Yes,
My
see?
parents had it.
Held on to it.
And it
I could learn
still-
something from
it
this.
Still works. So
Nice.
So that was my. So anyhow, growing up as a kid, I was always riding bikes, riding in the woods. Always loved bikes, and I grew up and continued to ride bikes. But I'd say I got back into mountain biking in my 20s.
Okay.
Interestingly, I lived in Vermont, I worked in Vermont,
Okay.
but I didn't mountain bike while I was working in Vermont. It wasn't until I moved out here to Mass where I started
Yeah.
biking.
Then you can go back to Vermont.
Exactly.
It's a mountain bike. Ah, cycle.
So, as Nikhil said, a couple years ago, we got introduced to the Bobcats,
Yes.
and this has been a great experience, not just for my oldest son, Nikhil. We have two other kids who are involved in the Bobcats as well, younger kids.
Awesome.
But also for myself, just from the standpoint of the excitement of organized bicycling organization, but also from the standpoint of camaraderie and just the spirit and the teamwork and the team building that this organization promotes. So it's really exciting to be part of this.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys are always doing stuff. I'm seeing it seems to be a really good group effort overall. Usually, you guys seem super well organized too. I mean, literally just from the sheet I got, I don't think I've ever got. I've had clients I've worked for that can't give me
That's
that
Craig.
detailed information. You know what I mean?
We're not all like that. All Craig.
We're not. It's all Craig. We're not all like that.
Craig, did you show? I think you should
Props
show
to
your
Craig.
organization.
It's impressive.
That's all the talking points about NEHSCA.
Oh, let's do the points.
Yeah, that's so we can promote.
But yeah,
He's got
trust
more
me,
than
the-
enough
the
organization for the team.
organization
Right.
Is without Craig, we wouldn't be here.
And I can't believe I was looking at the numbers. In the past 3 years, it's tripled, more than tripled. So you guys are getting the info out there, man.
Yeah, so let's bring it up to speed onto where we've been and where we
Yeah.
are today, because I
Yeah.
think it's a pretty neat journey to talk about.
Yeah.
If you guys Google youth mountain biking anywhere on any device, you will see that over the past, I would say 10 years, it has gone from nothing to really probably one of the most powerful youth sports across the country.
Yeah.
And it's not just happening here in New England. In New England, we have NEHSCA, but the rest of the country has another great organization called NEHSCA. And they're both identical in their format. At the end of the day, their goal is to get kids on bikes, give kids opportunities that are different than team sports. We've all seen the growth of team sports. We've seen, soccer grow, baseball grow, lacrosse, you name it. And a lot of those are competitive, and they ask you to be competitive real early.
Yeah.
Candidly, Aiden, he burned out of baseball. He played at a very competitive level.
I
13 years
retired.
of age. He retired.
I officially retired from baseball at the
like
ripe
it.
On the
age
bench.
of 13 years old.
His arms
being
couldn't take it anymore.
Terrible for
But
I don't know, 12 years.
But that's just one of many stories. And what you see here, and I was able to pull some stats from NEHSCA, from one of the coaches meetings we had here, and just to give you a perspective. back
So
in
quickly, before you get into those numbers, I just
Yeah.
want to clarify. NEHSCA is the name of the league.
Okay.
And our guests today are from a team within NEHSCA, the Bobcats.
The best team.
So-
in the NEHSCA. Best team. I must say that.
Unbiased, completely, obviously.
No,
you know.
completely
So
unbiased.
the-
Completely.
Totally unbiased.
Just to kind of keep things straight for our listeners, NEHSCA is the league, and then there are teams within NEHSCA. And go ahead.
Yeah,
Craig,
that's a
on
great
your,
clarification. And NEHSCA was formed to give an outlet for teams to compete and ride bikes against each other. And where it started back in 2016 was with 12 teams and about 200 kids. Where it is today is we are about 28 teams going into 2020 and over 750 kids from every state throughout New England. It's off the charts.
Yeah.
It's off the
Yeah,
charts.
that's awesome.
And what it is just people are just finding it. And we'll do info nights. And how'd you hear about us? I just my kid likes to ride his bike and I Googled it.
Yeah.
Or a friend told me about it. Or was at a parents group. Our team, the Bobcats, though we're based in Easton, Mass, we have kids, riders from Lakeville, Plymouth, Norton, where we live, Canton, Stoughton, Sharon. I'm missing probably about 5 or 6 towns, but we're a regionally based thing. And, there's some teams. There's a team up in the western or northern part of Massachusetts, the Argonauts. They have over 75 kids on one team.
Sure.
And we struggle with how do we manage 30 kids on a team.
And then you get teams down in Rhode Island that are pushing almost that 75, and they're just so big, and it's everybody's included in it. It doesn't matter if you have a bike, you don't have a bike. It's just everybody. The coaches help out getting kids on bikes. It's just everybody can. It doesn't really matter where you're from.
I think
or
that
you
was-
can just ride bikes.
That was one of the things that struck me. So I did, again, for our listeners, I did some ride leading with our Bobcat team. That's like our local kind of, again, Lakeville, Rochester, Easton team. And one of the things that struck me was just seeing not only like a bunch of different ages, despite it being quote unquote high school cycling association, but also a lot of skill levels within those ages was really cool to see.
And Riley, you bring up a great point. When we think about mountain bike racing, it's not about the racing. Candidly, that's secondary.
Yeah.
We have kids that have never ridden a bike in the woods before.
Yeah.
Showing up to
I
kids
think-
that want a podium.
Yeah.
So we have both ends of the spectrum, and
Yeah.
candidly, Nick and I get a kick out of working with the first timers. We have other coaches on our team that race competitively as adults,
Yeah.
and if you want to reach the podium, they will get you there because they've done it themselves. They know how to train, they know nutrition, and all those things. But if you just want to come and get some exercise and be outdoors, we got you covered. It's awesome.
People, which
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, everything I've seen from mountain bikers, I mean, everybody is usually super inclusive. Everyone wants to have a good time. That's basically the main point of this the entire time. Making sure it doesn't matter if I place last or first, which everyone's just out
Yeah.
communally to have a good group.
Yeah, if you go to like a local, say, like an adult race around here, I mean, clearly 90% of people are not getting on the podium. And I would say like 80% of those people are totally fine with that.
Absolutely. I'm not going to win
Yeah,
anything ever,
yeah.
but I'm still going to have a blast.
It does depend upon the category. So like the pros are obviously going to be a little skewed in the other direction, but I do like that that's something that is evident on the NEHSCA side of things too, is that you're embracing that kind of 80% of people that just want to ride and experience a new place to ride or just ride to have fun, versus catering to those, say, 10 or 20% that are actually
competitively focused,
competitive,
oriented,
but still offering a venue for those competitive individuals.
Yeah. I actually at first, I didn't see word of mouth. It was I saw somebody in the woods with a NEHSCA jersey, literally sending it off some jumps in Vietnam, and I was like, "Yo, who is this?" You know what I mean? Like, what is this kid doing?
Yeah,
and that's what got me curious. Kind of.
These kids are better than me.
Yeah, that's why I'm slightly jealous.
Yeah.
I didn't get this experience when I was a kid. I didn't have people to teach
It
me.
doesn't take very long for the kids to get better as well. I mean, that's something that I noticed was, I mean, we've had kids, like Craig was saying, that have barely been on a bike in the woods before. And it's amazing, as we worked with them for over the course of, how many weeks did we train before the first race?
About a good 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, we're out on the trails before.
And then, we start, racing, and it truly is. We've seen kids improve orders of magnitude, and not just in their bike skills, but also in their demeanor, their confidence.
Yeah.
It really has done. I mean, Craig and I have a couple of examples of kids that have just, absolutely come out of their shell and found something that that they've never experienced before, in terms of self-confidence, something that they can call their own, that they're good at or that they feel good at, and that they see like positive progression every time they get on a bike. And that's really exciting to see.
Yeah.
And you start to see it in the first week even. We put them on clips, and they're often going on clipless pedals, and they're just starting to jump over logs, and you see it in the first week. And even it's not even the coaches that start helping me. I help the kids. Nikhil, I know, help some of the younger kids just kind of know some faces, kind of know some people, make friends, get them out in the woods, have fun, get their mind off.
You're focused. That's the best part of it.
Yeah, that was the other thing that struck me about it that I've seen is it's a great social venue, because let's face it, as much as NEHSCA is growing and all this cycling stuff is growing, going to just your normal high school and saying, who wants to ride a bicycle with me, you're probably not going to get as many people as you might like.
And it's funny you bring that up. We've never, and I can't speak for all the NEHSCA teams, and there's 28 of them. We're one of 28 of this large organization. We've never promoted it at the schools.
Yeah.
So we've never
Wow.
gone to a school and say, hey, we have a mountain bike team. Can you announce it, put a flyer out, or reach out to your parent boards or what have you? Everything has been organic. We started off, NEHSCA's entering its 5th season. If you go on our website, website time, NEHSCABobcatsweebly.com or something like that.
Weebly.com.
Or something like
What was
that.
that?
Or something like that.
It's
Blown
on,
plug,
it's on some
blown
of the
plug.
stuff.
So it's HTTPS because we're secure these days.
Backslash.
NEHSCABobcats.weebly.com.
There we go. All right.
You'll see pictures of each one of the Bobcat teams. And in year 1, there was 6, 7 kids. And now this year will be over 30. And that's organic growth.
Yeah.
There's only one team that's based out of a school, and that's St. John's Prep. All the other teams are all based out of a
regionally?
shop, just kind of regional, something like our team.
Yeah.
And I don't know of any other teams that promote it at schools, but it doesn't seem like they just kind of funnel it through Instagram, Facebook, shops.
Yeah.
that kind
Well,
of stuff.
and
Just kind of
interesting, like,
riding, park, that kind of stuff.
You look at the bubble. When Nikhil joined, you were the first person from Lakeville, and now we have like 6 people from Lakeville. So it's word of mouth and people that want to be on the team because. Yeah, right. So you were watching the video. We all have swag on. You know, we buy swag. We get the kids wearing stuff, the gears, the hats, the flannels. They work
The
at
stickers.
school.
Yeah.
You know, it's like McGill Racing. You know, that's pretty exciting. We have stickers. But through that promotion alone, we're just growing.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you one of the things we as a league are working on is the male to female ratio.
Okay, so you did mention something
Yeah.
at that point.
So presently, 85% of our racers are male.
Okay.
And 15% are female now. The interesting point about that is every year for the past 4
Yeah.
years, it's been 15%.
Yeah, I think
So
I
it's
had
been
been
steady.
talking to
Yeah.
I had been talking to one of the other coaches about this, and what she had been saying is that second year it was like, oh, we have so many more girls, this is awesome, but they also had so many more boys, so that ratio
Fortunately,
has
yeah, it
has
was-
stayed constant the whole time.
That's odd from a statistics point of like. I think it was rare that something would increase while one section maintains the like. I feel like that's an outlier. Like that shouldn't be happening almost. You know.
Yeah, so one of the things that NEHSCA is doing is that they're hitting it head on. They're actually building a task force that one of our other coaches, Donna Taylor, is leading, is to go ahead and recruit and find out what's preventing young ladies being interested in the sport. Because we have one young lady on our team, and she absolutely loves it. And she doesn't mind. She's the only girl. She's entering 11th grade. She's in high school.
Yeah.
Our friend Anna, and she rocks it. And she does great. And so the league is saying, hey, how do we do better at that? How do we get the word out?
Yeah.
And I think there's some stigmas to mountain biking.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Well, I mean,
and-
not to like call us out, but we are sitting here in a room of all guys, right?
I mean, that's actually a very.
But I think
It's
you
like-
find more.
perfect observation.
The females are kind of looking at Kate Courtney.
Love her, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's true.
There's no
Yeah,
shortage
there's-
of role models.
Sparkle Watts.
there isn't.
And
You look at
pros
the full UCI
women's-
schedule.
in women's
full
cycling, yeah.
UCI lineup, and you see Kate Courtney, Emily Batty, all the heavy hitters, and they're part of that advocate kind of group that wants to get women on bikes and out there and have fun and all that kind of stuff.
I will say in the past couple of years, I think it was shocking to me to see the amount. So many more women are biking. My neighbor downstairs from below me, I didn't know she biked. She got into it this year. Everyone's kind of, a lot of the women I ran into were slightly apprehensive, but more curious. How do I get
Yeah.
started?
I would be
You know?
curious to see like the ratio for adults compared
Yeah.
to this ratio for NEHSCA.
Yeah.
Because I haven't looked that deep into the actual ratio of like approximate women to men
Yeah.
adult riders, but I would be curious to see how that stacks up and
If it compares.
if it is going to be like a top down kind of thing where like the adult sphere is finally kind of getting a little more equal.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of see that trickle down into the NEHSCA leagues.
That being
But
said, if anybody's listening,
attacking it from both sides, I think, is the way to go. So I'm glad that like the league is actively pursuing that.
if you know anybody if you know a woman that's on the edge, or even if you think they'd have fun at it, push them into it.
Get 'em a
Let's go.
bike.
Get them a bike.
Get 'em a bike.
Get them
Any
a good
bike.
bike. Get them a good bike. You get a bad bike,
yeah.
you'll hate it. you
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
Well, let's talk about that, getting a good bike.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What is a good bike?
Well, no, we're not going there.
Because that's the topic.
topic. One of the biggest questions we get from a new parent or a new family is, biking's expensive.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
We're not putting you on a Walmart bike here. You can't compete and be
Yeah.
successful and safe
Yeah.
on a bike bought at Walmart. Now, Walmart sells many great products. We love Walmart. They support Bentonville. That's fantastic.
That's our
Yeah.
that's our other
They
corporate
build,
sponsor.
they build trails. It's
They
kind of
build
nice.
Trails, so they're big advocates for mountain biking. But you need a name brand bike. You need a Trek, a Specialized. All the great brands out there. And
Yeah.
I specifically mentioned Trek and Specialized because they're big proponents of getting kids
Yeah.
on bikes. We are fortunate enough to be very close with our sponsor shop, which is Spark BRS Sports here in Lakeville.
Great job.
Yeah,
Wonderful
They do
shop.
great. We may have 3 of their employees in this room here, but who knows?
Maybe.
You never know.
No comment.
But between the individual bike shops and the bike companies, they are happy to work with families on getting kids on the right bike, whether it's through the manufacturers offering discounts, the sponsors, shops looking for used equipment, or just making deals to make sure kids on a bike.
Yeah.
They're really accommodating, and we couldn't do it without them, candidly. And
Yeah.
the industry gets it, that, hey, this is the next generation of our consumers, and if we don't invest in them, this industry goes away.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a hand-in-glove relationship.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
you talk about the expense of it, and if a parent says, oh, geez, it's expensive. Well, not really. If you're playing hockey, this is cheap.
Spoken like somebody who
doing
knows
pads,
exactly.
sticks, pucks.
This is cheap.
Yeah.
You get a bike, you're going to spend over $1,000 on a bike, but then you're going to sell that bike to someone else, another new family.
Yeah.
And because you outgrow it, and you get half your money back, and you start rolling and rolling. So, it's not like your cleats, once you outgrow your cleats, they're done. Or if
Exactly.
you're playing baseball, the bat is now out of regulation because they
Yeah.
changed the rules.
Yeah.
So in its totality, NEHSCA is a pretty affordable sport for a young person, and it's a sport they can take throughout their whole life, which is
Yeah.
good too.
And I see people going from stick and ball sports to bikes because that people are starting to realize from soccer, baseball, football, once you get out of high school, even into high school, it's hard to take that and continue it because it takes 9 guys to play a baseball game.
On the same,
Well, that's-
on
yeah,
the same
that's
schedule.
On the same schedule.
That's the other nice
It
thing
takes
about-
18 people to play baseball
Right.
on the same schedule. You got to find a field, all that kind of stuff. And then biking, you dig out your old bike or get a new bike or something like that. And
Just ride.
It's a lot
yeah,
more accessible.
just ride.
you
Get
know?
on the
By
road and
yourself,
ride.
Do it with a group.
Yeah, you don't
Exactly,
even
yeah.
need a group.
No, that's a good point. So we, after the last year's Freetown 50, we were talking with Bryna Blanchard, who completed it, and she was talking with Nikhil and I think one of my other kids, and was making the comment and encouraging them to ride, and it's something that you'll have for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball players, football players, basketball players may or may not be able to enjoy those sports into their 80s, but as she
It really
shared
does,
with
you know?
us as an example, her parents have been riding since they were kids, and they're in their 80s and they're still riding. So it's
Yeah.
Really?
something you'll have forever.
I mean, that's going to
And I
benefit
think
you
that's
too,
absolutely
health-wise. Yeah.
No knee surgeries.
Generally low impact.
Generally,
Yeah.
If you stay on the road.
Generally.
full contact sport.
No comment.
With trees.
Contact with the ground.
Nikhil,
Yeah.
did you?
I mean, if it's something that I can continue to do for the rest of my life, then I feel like it'll it'll benefit me more, and it'll kind of be worth my money in the long run.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's
Because
it's a single investment now that you're going to be. I mean, you're how tall are you right now?
5'9".
You probably get maybe a couple inches taller, but you'll basically generally be almost in the same size of bike. You probably can use that bike for the next 5 if you needed to.
And even if you get a bike, you can upgrade it. There's upgrade kits for ages out there.
So about that,
Dangerous path.
Ed,
dangerous, very dangerous.
Ed,
So some people have been.
Ed
trapped
just
in that.
brought up that size thing, as we were just talking about how expensive it might be. What is there anything in NEHSCA for like if you get a bike and then say you outgrow it, where do parents go, or where do the riders go from there?
Actually, you'll know what Facebook Marketplace now.
Exactly.
There's actually a dedicated NEHSCA
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, so that's great then.
page. to sell bikes.
Go right to that.
You
And
wanna-
pick from a pool of bikes, basically.
Yeah,
You know.
so there's a dedicated group on Facebook for parents to resell kids' bikes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But also many of your bike shops have bike swaps, and there's so many resources. It's endless. If a parent can't find a place to sell their bike, we'll help them out.
Yeah.
Call me directly. I'll put them in touch with 3 resources right away.
Literally instantly. It was actually a
Craig
someone
is just going to buy it
recently
right off
it was
of you.
easier.
Craig
Yeah,
wants
quite
your
possibly.
bikes.
Resell it too.
He'll stock
Oh, resale value.
I know a basement somewhere we could put them all. Get a lot of space. That's what that's actually a really good point because Craigslist is trash now. It's no longer what it was. Facebook Marketplace.
Shout out to our sponsor, Craigslist.
That would be good. Listen. I had its place. I love her for what it was.
Yeah.
But
It has definitely lost, especially in maybe other of its like sales pages work, but its bike sales pages are
It's
no
basically
good
dead,
anymore.
You know, it's the sketchiness was not there. I'm kind of almost wanting to get back into Facebook almost just for the marketplace aspect, but I know I'd spend more money, so I'm not going to. But you guys have an advantage with that.
Oh, how'd
distinctly.
you sell your Deadwood?
That was actually Pink Bike.
Let's not talk about that.
I was that was the last avenue
How
I thought
dare you,
was going to
Ed.
be able to
How
be
dare
sold.
you.
Riley is so upset. I can't. I'm not.
Do you
part
Want
of
to learn more about NEHSCA? Or are we going
Team
to pivot off this topic now, or what? This is like a democratic
distracted.
debate.
This is how this goes. Now you can see how where we are. You know. So yes. Okay. So bikes are not a huge factor because you can find ways to get used bikes. And you did bring up a good point.
Yeah.
With like, I went to college. I played baseball for I don't know how many years, and then, you know, what I was doing in college with baseball, drunken wiffle ball tournaments. Like that was that.
Yeah.
There's
You know?
nothing bad about wiffle ball.
No, it wasn't. It just
There-
wasn't.
Well, even
Yeah.
even
Baseball.
said,
Wasn't
past
real
college,
baseball.
unless you're a baseball pro,
You're playing softball, but men's league
Yeah,
softball.
yeah.
you're
You need a
nukes
bike.
on men's
If-
softball.
So get a bike.
you heard it
instead.
here. If you're playing baseball, get a bike.
Just get a bike.
Yeah.
Playing any sport, just get a
Leave
bike.
the sport. Leave the sport right now.
Actually, no. If you're biking too, get another bike.
Get another bike.
Get another
Yes.
bike.
And plus
and-
one.
and plus
Exercise
one.
it. And being the number of bikes you already
All
have.
right, let's
So if
so we've kind of covered like our metrics and the growth and everything.
now
right.
say somebody is interested
Yes.
hearing this. Say there's
Yes.
somebody that's listening. Possibly
Somebody's
there's
listening
one person
right
listening.
now.
How do
They want to sign up yesterday.
How am I getting involved? If I'm of
Even-
age.
Yes, exactly. If I
You
am
should
of
be.
age, or if
let's
I
talk
want to
about
help
what-
out in some
Let's
way.
talk about what is of age, right? And I don't think we've covered this.
We haven't actually.
not.
yes.
So one of the things that makes makes NEHSCA unique is that we are 5th grade up to 12th grade. So we have kids that are as young as 10 years of
That's
age,
a big range.
all the way up to 18 years of age.
Wow.
Oh, makes practice great fun.
And NEHSCA is smaller. NEHSCA is
NEHSCA's
only
just
high school. So
right? In some
Limited to high
regions-
school.
NEHSCA has a bigger range of kids, and we get them on early, and then they stay because they realize it's fun and can live with it for their whole life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but they're both great. You know, you can't say one's better than the other.
No.
So our kids start at 5th grade, and
Yeah.
as long as you're in 5th grade, all day long. And our categories are are grade based. So if you're in 5th grade, you're racing if you choose to compete against other 5th graders.
Okay.
6th graders, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
All right.
And then once we get to high school, we have a junior varsity and varsity.
Okay.
Where if you're really good, you can jump into varsity at 10 years of age if you wanted to.
Okay.
Choice of the family, which is all good, and or you just stay within the grade. But what's interesting about the split, and I'll get to your how do you register in a second.
Yeah.
50% of the league is below or middle school and below, and the other
Huh.
50% is high school. So
Really?
there's you would think a lot of young kids are running around and not a lot of high school kids want to do it. Wrong. 9th grade up, 50% of the league. 8th grade and down, 50% of the
See, I
league.
wouldn't have guessed
That's
that
awesome.
Yeah,
These
I
are
was
weird,
shocked
you know?
when I saw that.
That's how it should be, I guess. But
Absolutely.
it's awesome to hear.
Ideally, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But how do you get involved? So registration is going on right now. So
Right now.
Your invitation, Right now. You can
Go do
go
it.
on.
At the time of the uploading of this podcast,
It will
in
still be going on.
Yes.
Tomorrow, let's try to do it tomorrow.
Doing it now.
We are encouraging all racers to register by the end of the month of January.
Okay.
Because we have to get jerseys. Like all team sports, we have to wear a uniform, and we have our jerseys.
Okay.
Jerseys are all crafted and manufactured by Craft Sportswear. And they're super high-end kits that we get at below cost. So it's really inexpensive. About $40, you can get a racing jersey.
Excellent.
And if you ever bought cycling gear,
Wow, I
you
was
can't
gonna
find
say.
anything
No.
for $40.
And is that-
Nothing is $40.
Is
They
that
have to be used.
is that courtesy of Kraft? Are they kind of
Craft has
helping
been wonderful
helping
as
out
far
the
as, yeah.
league? Yeah.
But it takes a little bit to manufacture. They're
Yeah.
getting made
Yeah.
over in
Yep.
Poland where their manufacturing is. So it takes a couple of months to do that. That's why we got to get orders in early February.
Yeah.
So if you want to do this, shoot me a note on the Bobcat Instagram page. It's NEHSCA_Bobcats on Instagram, or go to our website, or just go search up NEHSCA at NEHSCA.com, and it lists all the teams, what regions they're in, and there's bike links, reg links there. If you're into biking, you're familiar with Bike Reg, and that's ultimately where it drives you, is to get registered there.
Okay.
And the cost isn't that bad. Here's the cost structure for a season. What you're looking at is for the registration of one person is $125. If you got multiple kiddos, or if you're like the Barnicks and you got 3 kids registering, there's family discounts, which is
Okay.
awesome. Once you do that, you got to buy a jersey, $40 for the jersey. And then if you choose to race, it's about $30-$40 a race. You know,
So
if you
then,
do early
then
bird.
we should
the
stress
25
then
is early bird.
it's race optional.
Race
right?
optional, right.
So as far as it is a team,
Oh, I love that.
it is a team, but you aren't required to race.
That
To
speaks
be-
to me
to
on
be
a
a
level
part of that.
of kind of laziness.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, interestingly enough, every Bobcat raced last year.
Really?
Yeah.
At least
every
once.
one of our members of our
That
team
peer
raced.
pressure works in good ways,
Other
huh?
other
Oh, yeah.
teams don't do that, but it's just kind of the culture of the team we've developed.
That's cool.
Now, if you don't race, we have some kids that didn't race every race, but they still came to the races
Oh, okay.
because the races are. You guys been to a festival? Remember bike festivals from the 90s?
It must be an all-day event thing,
It's
right?
an all-day event.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to be around there on bikes all day?
Morning, you walk in the morning, you get the smell of bacon, everything going.
Donuts and bacon, right?
Donuts and bacon, and then you come halfway through, and we got
Get feed stations? Come on.
Mrs. Barnick, Nikhil's mom,
Yeah.
making up some chili hot dogs,
Oh,
mac and
me.
cheese.
Oh.
You make it.
Do you consume it? You're eating
He's
it.
I'm
cooking
the
up.
chef.
He's
He's
the grill
cooking it?
master.
He's the grill
He's
master?
grill
It's all
master
me.
up front, Mrs. Barnick's the behind.
The magic behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scene.
You're the-
Mac and
you're
cheese,
the face of it?
chili,
She
chili cheese
organizes it
dogs.
all.
Excellent.
I'm just the labor.
Big old party field.
All right. So, now you had mentioned kits. Are you guys redesigning? I want to go back to that. Are you guys having a new? Because I know the green I'm familiar with. Are you switching it up this year at all? Yeah.
Green and
Alright.
hot pink.
Dude,
No,
I like it. No.
no hot pink.
Whoa.
Some hot pink shirts.
Heated topic there, huh? What a-
Yeah, I
It
guess.
works for a while.
A little.
I'm down with hot
little,
pink anything.
little controversial when we
Yeah.
bring up the kits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen. I like the way the jerseys look too.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the
So
first thing that got me
let's
curious.
actually
you know?
talk about that. What's because I think Ed, you were curious why Bobcat? What does Bobcat have to do with bicycling?
So my thing was the Bobcat has a large paw, so it's sure-footed and it's silent.
Oh,
but
I
I don't.
like
the
that.
silence is not.
I like
it's not
that.
the window. You know.
We're not silent.
I didn't think so.
We are very
Wow.
loud.
That's
I've,
deep.
I've ridden with you guys. Yeah, they're not a quiet group. You know.
That's totally not where it came from. I love it.
I like when I made that up though. You know.
So, little history.
Yeah.
So Bobcats were one of the original 12 teams.
Okay.
In in hockey, you got the original 6.
OG.
Well, in NEHSCA, we have the original 12. There was a family out of Easton, and the daughter was either going or had committed already to Lise McRae. And Erin Sifraza, if I'm pronouncing the last name, and her dad was the coach. And because Lise McRae's called the Bobcats, I believe that's the origin story
Excellent.
of how we got our name.
I love a good origin story.
Yep. And then we realized the logo that we had was copyrighted, so we had to get rid of that after year 1 and year 2.
Oh man, that's good.
And fortunately, one of our moms, who also is a ride leader, Amy Spencer, is a graphic designer.
Oh,
and
excellent.
she came up with the current Bobcat logo that you see today, which is wicked cool.
Yeah. Props to that because I know how fun graphic design is and how annoying that is. So props to.
Yeah,
props to her for
let me
creating
try
that. Let me
to
see.
for our
Yep.
Instagram.
you go.
That's the current Bobcat, and our color scheme is the gold
Here,
and
poke
gray
that up at the-
and green.
There's our logo.
It's backwards.
We have the alt logo too.
You can see it. You can check out at Lift Talk Podcast Instagram. It's on there, or NEHSCA _Bobcats. You
We'll
know.
post all
You ever-
these resources.
You ever race your face?
Yeah. So what? Explain this.
Ooh, yeah, what's
Explain
this?
this to us. I'll show
Craig,
this
you're gonna
off.
have to-
Here.
Race your face off, huh?
So last year we came up with the idea. We want the kids to buy sweatshirts and T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. But the Bobcat logo only has you only can do so much with that, right? So we have annual shirts.
Okay.
Last year, again, Amy, our very talented designer, her and I were brainstorming, and I remember growing up being loving skateboarding, right?
Okay.
And if you look at this logo, Ed, quiz question for you.
Let me see.
What does this look like?
Let me see.
Uh-oh, he's gonna flunk.
I failed.
Power Peralta?
Power
Question mark?
Peralta.
Question mark? Question mark?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Google
Nope.
it on your computer right now.
Nope.
We're gonna pause this.
What is
This see to me this harkens back to
What am I
almost like
Googling?
the Fast House kind of subdivision. Like this is your race this is the Bobcats race division. You know, this is the competitive section.
No,
of
we
Bobcats.
basically borrowed a race skater logo and made it into
For, what?
race
Show
your
me
face
this. I
off.
want to Google this. Come on, Siri. Let's go. You have an iPhone?
So this was our logo last year, and this year we're coming up with another alternate logo that will be it's undisclosed, but it's in
it's secret?
development.
Oh, I love this.
And so what we
actually.
do is we'll do T-shirts every year with the new logo, just to have the kids because they grow out of stuff, and instead of just getting something with a Bobcat logo, something with a annual logo.
That's
kind of
cool.
fun and cool.
Yeah.
Can you give any hints about who you're gonna base it around this year?
Well, I will tell you what. This Race Your Face Off.
Yes.
Scott Taylor, head coach, and has been with the team since its inception.
that is okay.
Origin.
I've seen those. Have you seen this? Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, lawyers will see it. We're in
Get
trouble.
that, yeah.
The origin of it.
Have you seen those decks that actually have the coating that when it rubs off, you can see his face appear
Wait, what?
as you basically grind it? That's specifically as a coating that would
I wanna
grind
get
off.
the skateboarding
It would
now.
it would be
I wanna
below
go
that,
do
you know.
that.
So
I'm ditching bikes. I want to skateboard.
Whoa.
that was quick, huh?
Teenagers.
Very fickle.
So the last year's theme and logo was based on a phrase that Scott Taylor would always say, and it was "race your face off."
I like that.
And so we took it and kind of created the skeleton. And the skeleton may make a reappearance in this year's. There'll be another very common
We
phrase
neither
that
confirm nor
Bobcats
deny any of
are
these
familiar with. But I'm going to leave it at that because no one knows what it is except Aiden because he eavesdrops in my house. And Amy is going to be designing it.
He's been-
I actually wait. I do know.
And the NSA.
He signed an NDA
on,
though,
little
so he can't.
Yeah.
He has a non-disclosure agreement.
Non-disclosure contract. I do not know what this logo
All right, I'll give you a little hint.
Wait.
A little hint. Uncle Kevin is the little hint.
Really?
I don't have.
Uncle
Somebody out there
Kevin.
might know.
Uncle
I don't. Somebody knows.
I know it is.
So, oh, Nikhil's got it.
You know what
He
it
knows.
is?
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, obviously. No,
tell you when you're
you can't draw. when you grow up. When you grow up,
That's okay.
you can't reveal it on air. How's that? We'll hold that one for later. But I like the idea of it's as somebody who obviously bike people love to buy gear. I like the idea of a custom swag that people want to wear and represent their group. It's gonna make people. It's gonna make me curious if I'm one to drag.
We have a lot of fun.
Your listeners.
Oh, look at that! I like the duffel bags too. This is great.
But what's not shown here is we've also put it on pint glasses.
Oh,
Yes.
right here.
Let's show. I think we may have
favorite
posted
chocolate
one of those
milk
already.
Your
But
favorite chocolate milk.
Wherever beverage you prefer, water or other. You know.
We have the alt logo that won't go there.
We'll leave that for another day.
And percentage of the sales go directly to supporting Bobcats. Now, do you guys find that funding this is easy through these methods? Are you it's obviously looks like you're progressing well enough where it's not really an issue at this point.
Well, so we get a small stipend from the team to buy like nutrition and supplies, patch repair kits, and all that. But candidly, we use this as our major fundraiser. And last year, imagine we have 30 kids on a team, and imagine 30 bikes just laying around tents at a festival.
Yeah.
So we invested in heavy duty, and they're about $400 a piece, bike stands. So where you put bike rack,
Oh, nice.
20
Big
bikes on a
festival
rack.
ones.
Oh, cool.
A-frames, yeah,
Okay.
big
All right.
And
ones.
so we've invested in that. We've invested in tools. We've gotten some wonderful donations from companies like Park Tools and ESI Grips.
That's awesome.
Yeah, our main sponsor,
and
ESI Grips,
Pedro.
Shout out to
nutrition.
ESI. Love those.
Yeah,
love
shout
the
out.
grips.
You guys are great.
Pedro's too. All right.
Yep.
Pedro's,
Pedro's-
yep.
Pedro,
Pedro
yep.
supplied us with some great tools.
Matt Bracken hooked us up big
yeah.
time in our first year.
Awesome.
Thanks,
You know,
Matt. If you're
If
listening,
you just ask and you say youth cycling, people have been very generous. And our sponsorship, Mike over at Spark, has been nothing but our little angel. He gives us stuff. All
He's a
the
large
time.
angel.
he's a large
angel.
great man.
Yeah.
Great
well,
man.
I think kind of addressing how the response has been to just asking for hey, this is for youth mountain biking or youth cycling is fortunately we're in an industry that's very passion based. So anyone in this industry
Yeah.
loves cycling and has loved cycling and probably what most of us, again, older folk have been chatting about, wished we had something like this.
Wax poetic.
Well, no, you're absolutely
Misspent
And
right.
are
youth.
definitely going to
Yeah.
be open to supporting a movement like this to get it rolling.
I've been communicating with the companies. I've kind of taken on the role of kind of talking to the companies. It's really great to see that. I don't write the email as, hi, can we have some free stuff for youth mountain biking league? It's kind of, could you guys help us? We are great company, or we know you guys are a great company, and we'd love for you guys to support us, that kind of stuff. And it's not just going out and asking for free stuff. It's kind of, we give them we give them Instagram, or through our Instagram page. We're shouting out them all the time.
It's a two-way partnership.
It's not a take. It's a give-take relationship, and it's really nice to see these companies coming out and supporting youth mountain biking because they're realizing if you get them to know the good products now, they'll be buying them in 30 years.
Like Craig said, like the youth is the future of the sport. Get them, have a relationship with them now.
The children are our future.
Yeah.
The children are our future.
Precisely.
That's so accurate.
Maybe
Though,
Whitney
you know?
Houston, anybody? But
R.I.P.
I'll tell you
Whitney.
what, you talked about the fundraising, and just a little plug here, there are things that we need that we can't buy with raising money by selling sweatshirts and T-shirts, because they're only making a few bucks a thing. We
Yeah.
need festival tents, and
Yeah.
they're about $1,500 a piece, the 10 by 20 tents. So we're actually having our first fundraiser.
What do I do? What do I do? In the name of God, you've got to tell me.
Relax, it's just a simulator. Nothing can go wrong.
Just poke blindly at the controls until they let you go.
All right. Now we've got the fade out.
Fade it back. Yeah.
Fade back in.
I'd like to. So we've chatted about like races and what's in a race day, smokers or
Whatever you may have it.
exactly.
Brisket.
I'd like to. So we did mention kids that might not want to race. Like, what are they getting out of the season? Like, what else is going on? I know there are practices and stuff, but is there other stuff going on during the season that kids are going to be looking forward to?
The end of the year pool party.
No, that's
At the Barnacks.
everyone's invited.
I'm peeing in that pool. There you go.
Ed's invited.
Sure.
Hey, be a lifeguard. I can swim. Don't worry. Right? I'll
Okay,
grab somebody.
other than the pool party,
You got your floaties
No,
on
but
your...
there, I think
NEHSCA
like
swimmies.
we talked earlier, there's kids of all abilities that are participating in this, of all ages too.
Yeah.
So we have kids that are in 5th grade all the way up to seniors in high school. So I think at the practices, the practices are a lot of fun. There's also an element of workout obviously associated with it. But in terms of things to look forward to, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think during the practices, again, not all the practices are grueling hill repeats. Or,
So that means some of them are.
Some of them are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, some of them are, but
At least
there's
once a
also, a lot of fun associated with it and camaraderie, and it's a big, like a rolling party.
The suffering in a group really brings
3 times a week.
brings me together.
when
you know?
we're practicing. So,
Sufferfest.
I mean,
but it's fun.
it's progression,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you guys actually have some sort of path that. Listen, we all want to have fun, but let's get to some sort of goal at some point.
And it's not only progression as a endurance state. It's in hopping over
skills,
logs,
yeah.
bunny hopping, jumping over stuff, jumping off stuff.
Tech, yeah.
Maybe you guys can
Tech,
teach me some
rock
stuff
garden.
about bunny hops.
We got
So
you.
let's
We
let's
got you. Come
actually
to a practice.
let's transition then to we'll start with Nikhil, I guess. What's your favorite part about being part of NEHSCA in general, but also the Bobcats? Like, what do you feel is the best thing you're getting out of it?
I'd say the camaraderie and the friendships that I've been able to make.
He's got it. There you go.
I enjoy. I like that I've been able to meet new people from not necessarily from my town,
Yeah.
but from
People
all
to
over
ride
the
with
area.
too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
people to ride with, or just really good friends. Like I find that a lot of my best friends have been made through the Bobcats.
Nice.
So that's one of the more go away. one of the more important aspects to it to me.
Yeah, that kind of social. So
Yeah.
what, like, you might not be doing a practice, but say you have a day off from school and you have all these biking friends. What are you doing with that day?
Going riding.
Where are you going riding?
Ooh, good question. Good question. Pine Hills lately, huh, boys? Yeah.
Pine Hills.
You guys are liking that place, huh?
Diamond Hill, if he lets me.
That place, that's next level. I've been
Vietnam.
there. Ooh.
All right.
Vietnam.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Saturday in Highland.
So I'm glad you guys are actually doing external stuff. Like you meet
Yeah.
these people through this, but you're going to go out in somewhere else
Yeah,
and
it's-
go.
it's
hang
not
around.
done.
Well, you know,
just
it's
for
funny. As we
practices.
speak right now, it's what, Wednesday night?
Yeah.
5 o'clock. There's a group of Bobcat ride leaders and their kids that are riding at night every Wednesday or Thursday night in Borderland.
Oh, nice.
They do
Oh,
event
that's
rides.
awesome!
Yeah.
Really.
And it's just,
And
know,
you
it's
guys
open.
skipped out on them.
We are here for the live talk.
Shame on you. It's the greater good, though.
The
You know,
greater-
it had to be done.
There's these little factions that have parents and kids that have just, like spending time together. We'll go and do something. Like Nick and I'll meet up and go ride.
Yeah.
We meet up on some shop rides as well, and there's a lot
definitely.
of events. And some kids want the gravity aspect, so they go up to Highland and go jump off crap.
So in this extends because
Crap is a strong word.
I'm looking at
There are stronger ones. Strong word.
What would you call it then?
Stuff.
Stuff.
I'm
Mounds
looking
of
at
dirt.
say the season schedule. There's 6 races. They go from May to June. It looks like. Once that season is over, and say practices aren't going on because obviously the race season is over. Is everyone getting together in the summer too, like over summer into fall and winter? Like
Yeah, so we have everybody. So there are kids that this is their only kind of race season that they do, and after this, they just go ride for fun, go to Borderland, that kind of stuff, ride with friends, go ride street, that kind of stuff. And then there's like there's 2 of us, 3 of us now that are doing enduro on the side, and that kind of
Ooh,
you
my
roll,
interest is
you
piqued.
start in NEHSCA, and once that ends, you roll right into an enduro, right into the middle of an enduro season, and then so there's a group of people that do that, and then there's a group of people that season ends, they roll into having fun.
Yeah.
With these kind of minus that racing aspect, so it's you really once the season ends, everybody's still riding.
No one's
it's
stopping
not
to ride. We're
it's
still
not
riding
as
now.
structured as NEHSCA practice 3 days a week, that kind of stuff, but.
Yeah.
Kids are still getting out, having fun, all that kind of stuff, and it's nice to see that.
And there's a couple of structured team activities that come up too. So we like to give back. So when there's local races, so Rock Hard Racing hosts a lot of races. We'll get a group of parents and kids to volunteer to do clipping before the race and cleaning the trail. You might have seen us parking cars 4 or 5 or 6 times. At
Crazy
Dark
man
30.
in the yellow jacket.
Flags.
I've been known to be a little nuts with the parking. You park, no parking for you.
1 year.
I have to get 75 cars in this 5-inch space. But no, we'll give back and volunteer in it. And then I think one of the things that we like to teach the kids is about stewardship on the trails. So a couple of our ride leaders and team members, parents are involved with NEMBA. So we're dialed into NEMBA trail build days. I think we've built up now 3 bridges.
Oh, awesome.
All in 2 in Borderland and 1 at Clifford Grant. And the kids are learning about what it takes to make trails that they ride on. So that's really a good way to teach them, of course, how to ride a bike, how to fit, and all that. But hey, giving back. Let's keep your trails that you're riding on in the best shape possible.
Yeah.
And I know that we have a couple of kids on that are doing scouts. Nikhil, if you want to go on that, because you guys are doing eagle projects for Massasoit, that kind of stuff, right?
For like traveling and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. You're related.
Well, yeah. So just heads up, sometime in the hopefully near future, there may or may not be an Eagle project that will most likely need some people to help out.
Yeah, most likely. And someone in 2020, I'm guessing, at some point soon. Yes, okay.
But it will replace notoriously
A bad-
sketchy.
Oh, I like
Sketchy
that rickety
bridge.
bridge.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Fear of death.
Which one are we
Yes.
talking Oh, I think I know what you're talking
You
about.
never know what it's
like
gonna look like.
Leftovers of all the other bridges that they've built in the
Yeah, I love
And
the
we've ridden it
leftovers.
before.
Yeah,
together,
I'm like,
I think.
oh, God, yeah, the sketchy one.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
There's
that one.
it's
Excellent.
But the idea is it'll be slightly rerouted.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
they
So
don't want
kinda
to build
care
it in
for
the
the
same
environment
spot.
there,
They
too,
want to build
kinda-
it
yeah.
in a different area.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people that are just not even part of like a NEMA chapter or a Scouts that are
Just helping out.
building trails. Yeah, even in their backyard, even just cleaning up on the road, that kind of stuff. Just kind of helping everything move along a little smoother, even though they're not part of anything.
Yeah.
And you don't really need to be part of anything to help out on trail systems and stuff.
Those random guys at
Yeah.
Pine Hills when we were there, and
Those
didn't
guys
know.
build crazy things.
That suspension bridge, by the way, is
dude,
next level.
that literally, I looked at it. I'm like, no thanks, I'm good.
I couldn't even figure out how to get up onto it.
No.
I saw somebody
Yeah,
on
without,
video
like,
and I was
flipping
like,
over.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm doing
So
it.
props to everybody that's out there
Yeah.
putting the time in
Yeah.
because it's basically making me feel bad and shame that I don't.
And I don't think
I'm going to be doing more.
And
of it,
I don't
this
think they're
year.
part of a NEMBA chapter, so they're just doing out for the greater good of mountain biking and not needing anything.
This
So,
is why
yeah.
we do this with kids. Teach them this early. So
Yeah.
this is why we have these people when they're older.
And then
You know.
obviously, like we were chatting about this in an earlier episode, the whole like trail etiquette thing. But I feel like just because it's a team sport and there is this whole like respect kind of built into
Yeah.
the idea of a team sport, like good sportsmanship, that kind of thing, that kind of lends itself to like that proper trail etiquette and
Being
just
nice to dog walkers.
Yeah, being nice and being
Yeah, like,
respectful of the
everybody likes
trail.
dogs,
'Cause
though.
Everybody
we
loves
are,
dogs.
as much as like there are some trail systems out there that are mountain bike trails, we're all sharing trails on mountain bikes. There are very few, especially around here, that are just going to be us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think that's good to see that.
I mean, and they're
as part of
representing
it as well.
They're the face of it.
Yes.
You know, I
yeah.
mean, they have logo. I mean, it's good that we teach them stewardship because this is what the public sees when they see a bunch of kids out being polite, you know, respecting things, fixing things, generally not being what the opposite of what people's
The
idea
opposite
of
of
kids.
the-
You know,
yeah, exactly.
Kids
not sitting on the video games and
to playing the video.
grinding Fortnite or whatever.
Exactly. You know, it's
The polite factor is a good point. So that was one of the things that I think we've, as a coaching staff, we've taught the kids to encourage the kids. You know, when you encounter a hiker, a dog walker, a horseback rider, you know, it's almost like Nikhil. I mean, you would say like every time you run into somebody, you're like, "Good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
yeah.
have a
Yeah.
good day." You know, and,
Absolutely.
and I think that goes a long way. You know, when people see when people that may not be mountain biking experience that, you know, that's just going to build a positive image for the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially to see that from little kids too. I mean, your little brothers do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
And it's. I mean, that's I think at the crux of what the whole KT thing was too. Like,
Yeah.
getting that responsibility instilled in these kids so that when they go somewhere else, they bring that respect for the sport and for everybody else with them. You know,
Yeah.
that's huge. I've actually, you know, I've had the same experience. You know, the people on horses yell at me when I'm stopped and being nice. You know, I've had people walking tell me to stop, slow down, or get out of the way, but I'm only, you know, hello, and I've been completely respectful. And I try to kind of be like that because fighting back and being annoyed and coming back at somebody, it's only going to make things worse. So
Yeah.
smile, do everything, be polite, no matter what what the outcome is, and just continue along with your ad.
You know,
kind of-
NEHSCA's really taken a hard stand on the polite factor as well. Even during the races, kids can be docked points for their
Really?
team if they're accused or heard of being profane language or being rude to another rider. Because you got to imagine you're riding like a 3-mile course,
Yeah.
and sometimes you're going to get lapped. And if someone that's a faster rider is not passing appropriately,
Yeah.
or a slower rider is not yielding, and you know something negative goes on, everybody's got a race number on. Oh, and it has your last name on the race number too.
Ooh.
And you're wearing a kit that has
Or
your
a
team
logo.
on it.
Team
So,
on it. Yeah.
They can hunt
It's
you down
hard.
to your exact
I
person.
know you. Yeah.
so and those things aren't there those are just helpful research tools. But NEHSCA's made a big point of making the kids sign disclosure or waivers saying, hey, we know that there's consequences if we're poop heads. End of story. If we're bad humans, they're going to come down on us. And there's no questions asked. And you know, there's tough penalties. If you do something really awful, you get kicked out, period.
It sounds like some people up north should be taking heed of some of these situations down here, and they're looking
We're
at
trying
this as
to
an
teach
example.
kids,
you know?
right?
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, we want to teach them to be good people, teach them how to have fun on bikes, and get some exercise at the same time.
Get a lot of a lot
again,
of
I think
exercise.
like I've seen with our team, you know, when it's encouraged over and over again. I mean, it's like clipping and unclipping; it just becomes second nature, and that polite factor just becomes second nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen it certainly, absolutely seen it with you know my little kids, where they don't even think about it. They pass somebody, and they're like, "Good morning," you know, and
Yeah.
really making a point to be polite.
I haven't got to the clipping aspect of it yet.
Some weird selfie
something-
stuff going
I
on
got
here.
distracted here.
Yeah, we're all
Thanks,
a little
Aiden.
distracted by all these
Selfie Central.
all these selfies going on.
Being live with guests is different, but it's kind of interesting.
It
It's
is,
been fun
yeah.
so far. I liked it.
So I would like to transition. We just celebrated Liftmas in our new year in the
Liftmas.
last episode. Merry Liftmas,
Merry
everyone.
Liftmas. It's a little late.
Is that called a Festivus?
Yes.
We're an airing of bike grievances now, and the feats of
So-
strength.
As far as like New Year's stuff, we're not talking like New Year's resolutions or anything, but we do want to touch on specifically to the kids here, the actual NEHSCA members. First of all, how did your 2019 race season go? Right? Were there any things that you regretted or any improvements you would like to make? And then we'll chat about 2020 and what your goals are going forward, both in NEHSCA and outside of NEHSCA.
I think for 2019 it was a pretty spectacular year. It started off, a couple of races got canceled, moved back. It was with that that super late snow.
Yeah.
That really messed it up. And then started, I think, the first weekend in May. That kind of is when it kind of kicked off, and it was a really good season for all the riders. There was a bunch of kids that first time getting on the podium. As a team, it was a really good kind of
Nice.
global thing. And for myself, I did pretty well. I'm not always happy with my results, but
We're always improving, though, right?
yeah, always improving. We're putting the grind in now.
Now,
So
are you guys scoring? If I mean to interrupt, is there scoring internally? I mean, you guys must be jockeying
Yeah.
for cred and prestige,
Like within
Yes.
the team?
yeah, within
the
teams,
team?
yeah,
well,
or even within the organization.
yeah, within
itself,
the organization, there's so you get X amount of points for first, second, third, and then it goes to
A
a
total.
team total, and then that team total, there's team standings. I think we finished 5th or 6th last year.
I don't
It
know,
was
20
yeah, it was
20
yeah, it
something?
was 20.
That's not
I
bad.
think it was 22 teams last year. So yeah,
Yeah.
and it's obviously the kids that or the teams that have 70, 80 kids on the team are getting the higher amount of points
by
but-
sheer numbers.
Yeah.
yeah,
statistically.
literally,
Mathematically,
but
that's
we nobody really focuses on the points.
And that's
It's
the point.
kind of
And I
all.
think, Aiden, that's a great thing just to remember. Is you asked the question, so I'll give it to you. But the
Yeah.
kids aren't running around the races saying, "Are we in first place?" No one cares.
Yeah.
Kind
No.
of candidly, they announce it at the end. They're like, "Oh, yay!"
So it's like a
that's kinda
secondary.
cool.
influence,
Everybody's like,
you know?
let's get this moving.
I gotcha.
There's a couple teams that seem to care
Really focus on that?
but we won't,
Yeah.
we won't name names.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I think for somebody like me, it's not that I would base my riding or everything around it. It would be an extra motivational factor to get me to improve and race,
Exactly.
But like you guys said, I don't think it's been something I would. My main focus is to be number one. That's
No.
not my thing, and I don't
But-
think anybody
yeah,
here
but
is.
like you look at there's obviously people that just by their sheer size they are going to do better than you. Like I'm on the smaller end of being a sophomore in high school. There are kids that are I don't know, almost 6 feet and 175, and they're just like mashing, and I'm like,
Mash
however
it.
much strength I'm going to have, I'm never going to beat you because that is just quite impossible.
Oh, well, you have a good point. I'll take it. And a counterpoint is that I'm jealous of people that weigh 70 pounds less than me because I'm like, how are you people moving like this?
Yeah.
I'm dying. So, I mean, there's plus
Yeah.
and minuses.
Yeah,
you know?
but there's a lot
I
of.
think he needs to rewatch Rocky IV, Rocky Drago,
It doesn't always happen like that.
Rocky IV.
Yes, Rocky. Spoiler
we,
alert.
we,
Rocky.
we need a training montage in deep snow,
Cue,
Yeah.
cue the training
Dun, dun,
montage
dun,
music,
dun,
Ed.
dun, dun.
Put that in there.
running
30
running
seconds.
in Russia in the middle of nowhere out of a cabin.
Just give me a bike and I'll give you a gravel bike with a single speed. That's it.
Bingo.
That's all you get. Nikhil, what
How
was
was your
your
race
yeah?
season,
How was
Nikhil?
your season?
My 2019 season was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think definitely out of all my race seasons, it was the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's always room for improvement.
I mean, always, right?
Yeah, and I'm hoping 2020 will be that improvement.
Do you have any specific? I want to do X. I'm looking to do. I want to get better at. Wanna get
Or
some-
even
some
any
sick
particular
B-hops, you know?
events or races that you're like, oh, that one's gonna be great. I'm doing that one.
Eastern States Cup
Or-
Enduros.
Exactly.
Boom. Let's go Diamond
All right,
Hill.
so we're
Let
doing-
Diamond
we
Hill.
got some
Straight
Enduro
up.
bros.
Diamond Hill.
I missed that one last year.
Yes, you
my ribs are still
missed
messed
it,
up.
yeah, but-
I'm going this year. So
What do you want to improve in this?
Probably the times of the laps. I need to look at my
Okay.
last year's lap times because
So do they maintain? Are these for the most part similar or the same courses as last year? Like,
Yeah.
will you be able to look at the time from this year and
Ooh, I
say,
like
oh,
that.
I think
Yeah.
there
this
is.
was
So
X number
only
better
if-
than?
some of them change slightly, and obviously if the venues change,
Yeah.
the courses will change.
yeah,
But I can look at the distance almost, and like the distances for all of them and the lap times for all of them.
yeah.
And
And
average
kind of
those,
compare them, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And then because it's not really the places per se that matter too much. It's like the times.
Your overall average,
Yeah.
as far as
That would be me
That
too.
I
I think.
is
Because the places will change based on like depending on the year, based on how many kids there are.
Yeah.
Obviously, so it's really the lap times that.
And the way that NEHSCA kind of lays it out, it's nice to see that they are coming through with 508. Half of it's on a motocross track. It's not easy, but it's a compared to the rest of them, it's on the easier side of them.
Yeah.
And then you look at Wampatuck, which is technical central, and that's just really techie, and you can see kids going like
I just
You
Kinda
guys should talk a little bit
taken.
about the race courses. You guys should talk a little bit about
Yeah.
the race courses because I think for myself, like again, I've been
walk me through some of these race courses. Like, how many miles are they? How many laps is it going to be? Because I've never done one of these, obviously. I know what cyclocross is. I know what what cross country.
I'm generally
is.
aware.
Like, I've done cross country races, and I've done longer cross country races. I've done some like short track races. What is this compared to for those of us that are not of age?
But also talk about the relative difficulty of the courses. Are they easy? Are they technical?
So the courses, the laps themselves are, I'd say 3 to 4 miles, maybe.
Yeah,
on the
roughly.
closer
Yeah,
to
roughly.
4
It's
Oh, okay.
They try to make it
Yeah.
4 miles, so
And then
like the smaller races are 4 miles, the biggers are like 8, and then you get to varsity, they're doing 3-4 laps.
So basically, just per groups with lap separations.
Yeah, and
okay.
they try to make each race the same distance, so you don't have to deal with. I'm doing this many laps this race, but I'm doing 2 more next race because the course is shorter, so they kind of keep it.
Okay.
They take the headache element out of it.
Or different course
Yeah.
routes or
Yeah.
crap like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, so everybody rides the same course no matter how old they are.
Okay.
It just depends on the amount of laps that they do.
All right.
And I find that the hillier courses are easier for me,
Yeah.
just because I like the break going. Like, so there's
I got
there's 2 in Vermont,
Yeah.
which I actually there's one specifically I think
Greenfield.
Stratham Hill.
Oh, Stratham, yeah, that's.
I've done better there than I have at all the other races, just because.
You're slightly more gravity focused.
It's
huh?
it's
Yeah.
cool that you're
you
kind
have the
of
ability to go
So,
brakeless
like-
on the downhills.
Like 508, that's like pretty much flat. So that's like a constant. Like
So that's
grind.
a roadie course.
I'm kind of the
What?
it's a
opposite
roadie
of that.
course. It's like a
I'm-
cross country course as
It's a
opposed
cross
to
country.
yeah.
course.
So
I'm-
it's cool that
yeah,
you guys
so-
can like throughout the season and a few seasons kind of recognize like, oh, I'm doing well at this, or because it seems like these courses are pretty like unique. Each course is pretty unique, and you can kind of through that course kind of get a vibe of, oh, this course is very cross country style, and I'm not feeling so good on this one as I was on.
You're more of an
I've
XC
oddly
guy.
figured out that even though I'm more gravity focused, 508's been my best race.
Really?
Because I think it's just that there's no real uphills because I'm not fast on the uphills. I'm faster on the downhills.
Faster than me in the uphills.
Yeah, probably. But there's courses for everybody. We have people who just mash at everything that have gone all the way to like the United States Cup races and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And we have people that like more of the technical Wampatuck kind of race, and then we have Nikhil who likes going up and down and up and down and up and down. So There's-
Wapatuck
You said it
Yeah.
like it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's a
Just
different thing.
different.
Yes.
That's all.
We
It's
like
not
all
bad.
types of riding.
Yeah. Different strokes, different folks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm more of with you
folks.
about
Yeah.
if I have a chance to go no brakes downhill, sign me up.
Yeah.
So we've kind of chatted about all these races here, and like you guys are doing, what you have 6 official races in the season, I think 6.
And then last year, I think we had 2 beginner races to start off the season that were
So like
they were
preseason
kind of
races,
Preseason races,
kind
they
of
were set
warm-up
up
race
by
type?
One of the teams down there, down south in Rhode Island,
Nice.
the Renegades, and they were a good way to open up the season because they tried a rolling start. They tried a couple of other things. They tried a rolling start for the
Okay.
start. I think they tried a different start line from the finish line to kind of split it up a little bit, but it was kind of their way to test out their new stuff because last year they overhauled a bunch of things.
Gotcha.
So they were kind of trying to test it out, but I don't know if they're going to do that this year. I hope they do because it's a great way for first-time racers to get out and be like, oh, this is what an NEHSCA race is, compared to going to another race like a straight into a hardcore one, like a
This counts.
Yeah,
you
like
know, it's like a
yeah.
preseason game.
Yeah.
But get all
Yeah.
the get all the
get all
kinks
the-
out.
Yeah.
Get back in. Everybody's lazy. It's just a long winter. Some of us don't ride all winter. So, I don't know who those people are. I can't imagine that.
So these races, like, say I'm not officially part of the team and I wanted to come check one out. Is that something like? Are these open for public folks to come and like watch, or is that
Absolutely.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
So,
if they were like,
family-
no,
family-
you can't come.
I don't know.
Stay out. Stay away.
I mean,
I would look pretty weird hanging around a softball field. I'll
Well,
say
me,
that.
even weirder me. I think. Yeah.
You do have the
Who's that
beard.
bearded guy.
You do
Yeah.
have the beard.
Sketchy.
no, we'll give you food. I mean, yeah.
Appreciate it.
You're trying to figure
Ooh,
out
press
like,
pass.
what it's about. Like if you're just, I don't know. I feel like if some random person was just like, I guess nobody would really do
There
that.
is,
Like,
there is independent racers too. So
Oh, so you can
don't
basically
have
just
to
run.
be
yeah,
part
so
of the team.
there is.
Oh, all right.
There's a couple guys that race, and they are racing as independents, no team. So they, I think they're from New Hampshire. The BM.
So I can go race as an
the
independent, right?
Yeah,
Team
you-
Ed.
Yes.
I can.
if you are of
I can write
age,
down my age as like
If you were of
17.
You're
age.
gonna write your thing out in crayons.
All right.
Put a $20
All
Riley's
right,
from,
then I'm
he's from
17.
Cuba. He's 17.
Yes.
Don't worry. He just
little,
looks, he looks old for his
little
age.
bench warmers. Little bench warmers.
You play baseball. You get it.
Yeah. So there, you can race as an independent if you're not affiliated with the team, but there's only 3 or 4 people that do that because most people are affiliated with a team
Yeah.
to make.
Yeah,
it.
you
get
definitely
that-
get
yeah.
the you get the social aspect
Yeah,
from
you get
that.
to make friends that ride bikes. Not saying you
And I-
make friends with not being on a team, but you get to make more friends.
It makes everything easier too. I mean, I wouldn't practice if I didn't have people probably that do it with.
Yeah.
or make
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
do it. I'd be like,
If you don't
"Man, I'm
have
only gonna
people
be
to
lazy."
ride with, it's very easy to kind of
Not ride.
yeah, exactly.
Lose
Watch
the,
Netflix.
Lose the fun about it.
Exactly, lose the flow of it.
Let's watch some Seth Bikes
So
hacks
I'm
instead.
gonna pass it back over to the coaches for a minute that we've got joining us. Pretty much same question. What were your guys' favorite moments in your 2019 season as coaches? I see you both smiling, so you all have something in mind.
They already have some on
Would you
deck
like
for
to go
this one.
first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, I don't know if this is going to be your.
It may be the same.
Steal it.
All right.
Take
So-
I
it.
was going to
Take
talk
that
about
chance.
your mac and cheese, but
Oh, you haven't tasted my brisket yet.
Brisket and mac and cheese.
Baba Booey.
Hey.
Baba Booey.
For me, honestly, not to get corny, but there was this one racer that joined the team, and is a young man, and he clearly was I think he had been struggling trying to find like something that he could be good at, and I worked with him throughout the year. Craig spent a lot of time working with him, and
Define like just for a minute, like
Yeah.
what is working with them mean? Just like kind of how does that play out in a practice?
So basically riding with him and encouraging him.
Yeah.
Trying to coach him, but in a very positive way. So this guy, he became very discouraged very easily. I don't think he had ever been on a bike in the woods. I think he had gotten his bike very recently, even before he started riding with the team, and just became very discouraged very easily. And it was for me, it was really rewarding seeing his progression. And again, it was a challenge, but he didn't race any races until the last race of the season. And he finished the last race of the season, and he had an ear-to-ear smile on his face.
Excellent.
And for me, that was, and I honestly, I think Craig. I have to give a lot of the credit to Craig, because I think Craig spent the majority of the time working with him. But it was really, really, really rewarding seeing that smile.
Yeah.
And fast forward to this year, we have these things called awesomeness rides that are, designed to, attract new team members. And he came to one of the awesomeness rides earlier in the year, or in late last year in the fall. I think it was, right?
Yeah, in the fall.
Yeah, and it was like a different kid,
Shredding on everybody, basically.
And it was, for me, that was just wonderful. I love that. It's it's nice seeing all of the kids, but seeing one kid that was really struggling.
Yeah.
that
It goes back to being able to see that progression, especially when they're kind of just starting out.
And it was physically and mentally and emotionally for him. He was struggling, and he just completely turned it around, and that was really cool.
Man, that's
It's good to see It's good to see by the end of the year this kid he raced the final race, and it was a really big deal for him.
Yeah.
And the Nick and my dad that helped him out through the whole thing, but we were all there at the finish line cheering him on, just kind of helping him through it, because
Hell yeah.
it was a big mountain for him to climb, and it was really cool to see the progression of a struggling kid that has taken this basically head on and destroyed it, and had a goal of racing at the end of the year and just smashed it.
He worked all season for
Excellent.
that, and to see that at the last race was just
It kind of gets not to lessen his part of it, but it kind of goes from being just his struggle to the whole team.
Yeah.
Kind of
communal effort,
pushing together.
Oh yeah. No, it was. I mean, that's a good point. The team is very much a team, and very much all encompassing and encouraging.
Yeah.
At the rider level, and at the coach level, and at the ride leader level, everybody is encouraging each other.
I feel like as somebody who's been that person and had a mentor or a teacher take the time, I don't think you guys will understand what it meant to that kid, to whoever it was.
I don't think anybody would understand what it meant to that kid. It's an ununderstandable situation.
That feeling is
yeah.
I'm glad you guys could take the time and do that, and get somebody else as deep and as addicted as we are, because it's another one that we just hooked,
Yeah, no, it's great. And Nick was very kind and generous with his words. It was a lot of people that spent time with this young boy, and it was awesome. And that, Nick and I share that as best memory of last year, or best thing. That was it. Ditto. Absolutely.
This is so satisfying. Yeah, right?
Just to watch a person who, I can't do this, I won't do this, tears, emotion, just shutting down, to watching him race 8-mile race.
Damn.
And I had the pleasure of riding with this boy, and I was crying when he was done. It was emotional to watch him, because it was just this kid that you saw the frustration and the anguish and the roller coaster he went on for.
You kind of see the whole journey to it.
Yeah, from March until June, and then he crossed the finish line. His grandmother's there. His uncle came to see him. He was on top of the world. Couldn't stop smiling, and I nudged him the whole way through the race, and it was just fun. Great fun. I'll remember it till the day I die. It's
that's what it's about right there.
Yeah, it's awesome that there's beyond just getting people into the sport and giving people getting people on bikes, having kind of those experiences to it too, not just for the kids but for anyone involved, whether it's the coaches or ride leaders, that kind of thing.
Getting them to climb personal mountains. Well, it's getting them to climb personal mountains that some people didn't they felt doubted that they wouldn't get it, and then they hit it, and it's wow.
Well, we
is
also got to keep
crazy.
in mind that, Aiden and Nikhil are a little unique in that fact that their dads ride bikes and their family rides bikes and we're outdoorsy people.
That's a good
so they've been
point.
doing it their whole lives.
Yeah.
We have kids that come to us that their parents, it's not their thing.
Yeah.
It's Johnny told my son about it and now my son wants to do it and he gave up soccer.
Their parents
And
understand
they drop
the
them off.
baseball, football thing, and not the biking.
Our job
Yeah,
is to
it's
make
different.
sure that sticks.
Yeah.
And make sure they're safe.
Yeah.
And make sure that, everybody has a good time and we don't lose anybody in the woods.
Yeah.
30 kids
Yeah,
in the
Main
woods.
goal. Head count. Kevin.
I have to say that is a miracle. That is a miracle.
No,
We've come close.
We get everybody? All right, we're
there's
good.
been many panicked moments where we're like, where's Johnny?
Because you think about like, and this is, imagine as a parent that doesn't know a lot about biking, not a lot about mountain biking, especially.
Take
be
my
a
kid in the woods.
A little nervous about.
Sounds sketchy, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
intimidating from a lot of perspectives. Like from a lot of levels, there's an intimidation factor as far as we talked about the price can be an intimidation factor. Like the fact that it is the woods is intimidating. The whole
Bears.
What
Lions, bears,
what is a bike
my.
and all the engineering and all the tech that goes into a bike.
Yeah.
So let me hit a couple of the fear points, right? So on the Bobcats, we have 5 dedicated coaches.
Okay.
Scott and Donna Taylor are the head coaches. They've been with the team since day one. And they actually don't have any kids anymore in the program. Their kids have all aged out, but they still are around because they love it.
That's awesome.
So we've got 5 coaches. We have about 10 ride leaders. So we have almost about 2 kids to 1 parent ratio at our practices because of we don't want anybody to get lost. And your bike does happen to break once in a while. You
Yeah.
get a flat, you get a mechanical. So someone's going to be left behind.
Yeah,
we
that's-
always make sure we have enough people around. And we're in an area that's kind of circular.
Yeah.
So we'll ride Massasoit and Borderland, and we ride similar terrain because we want to make sure people know how to get out.
And we have an army of ride leaders. That's
Yeah,
like
we've got a
it's-
lot of
yeah,
parents
and
that
they
wanna ride
all
their bikes.
they all
Who sometimes
if
work at
you-
bike shops.
If you stood them up in a line, you couldn't pick out the coach to a ride leader. They all act the same, have the same responsibilities.
Excellent.
And it's just you can't distinguish them from one to another.
Well, it's important to note too that yes, you have all those ride leaders, but then say you two are essentially ride leaders. You're part of the team, but you are becoming that kind of
You're the elders.
that mentor or guide.
The more seasoned riders are helping the younger ones get around. And you don't always need to be in that first group, always up front. You can hang around and hang out with the young kids, talk about Legos and stuff that they
Yeah.
still play
Legos
with.
are still cool.
Yes, they are.
Always have
The
been.
first group,
Yeah.
they're still expensive too. The first
Yes,
group
they are.
sometimes is a little bit faster. I'll stand
$160
back.
for
man.
like.
All right, we're not going down to Lego. Come on. I'm too
We
excited.
could talk about that for a whole nother 2 podcasts.
One other point I want to make, though, is all of the parent volunteers, if you're on your bike in the woods with the kids, are all quarried.
Nice.
Everybody needs to
Good
pass
point.
a
Hey,
quarry
good point. Okay, for real.
before they're doing it. And one thing that NEHSCA is doing this year, which is also great, they're also offering wilderness first aid. So as coaches, we can get wilderness first aid training. So
Awesome.
Obviously, if something significant happens, we're going to call in paramedics and the people that get paid to do it. But there's some triage things we could do to make sure a child is safe should something happen.
Definitely.
But thank goodness it's only been the parents that have gotten hurt.
Yeah,
the adults. I love
Adults.
that.
We
Sometimes
should
that
have
happens.
known.
You use a medical advice on
Not
yourself.
gonna name names.
I have an Israeli compression bandage in my car. Hold on, I'll be right back. For my own leg,
From
So.
my Lexus.
So you also asked about goals and or best moments and obviously that one boy is speaks to a lot of kids on the team, but there's a mantra that we use is kids will say I can't do this. That comes out of kids' mouths and I remember there's this one young boy 2 years ago joined the team. First practice, I can't do this, and I looked at him and I said, and I had just met him and his dad, and his dad gave me the green light. Hey, you can get on him. If he quits on you, get on. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take that. It's a green card. Let's go. So again, I said, I don't ever hear that word out of you again. Don't ever say I can't. Say I will try. And I'll tell you, that young man progressed through his first year very well. But like what Nick was saying, is he came back that next year. Like this young boy came to this fall ride and blew Nick away. The same kid comes back. He's now podiuming. or he's in the top
Yeah.
10.
Nice.
So you just change their mindset because this is foreign. Riding in the woods with roots and rocks is hard.
Yes.
We take it for granted because we do it every day.
Yeah.
But for a kid coming out for the first time, that is
Anyone
hard.
coming out for the first
For
time.
me doing it
Yeah.
yesterday, it's extremely hard.
And I think like that. In fairness to like kids in general, a lot of adults say I can't do this. I say that like probably 3 times a day, depending upon what I'm doing.
So
But
my thing is, I will try. Don't say
yes,
give it a try.
and I think that that attempts to get that mindset switch and that teaching of like, not to be too corny, but like a life skill essentially.
Yeah, you can take it from any job.
Like,
or any-
remember the coaches training we went to earlier in the year? I mean, that for me really stuck. You know, we talked about mindfulness and talked about positive visualization, and that's what you're talking about. Is, you know, we gotta, and with the one kid we were talking about this year, you know, we just continuously tried to encourage him. He would constantly focus on, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna hit that rock, I'm not fast enough, versus encouraging him to say, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, encouraging him to imagine what it's going to feel like climbing that hill and clearing that hill or clearing that rock garden, you know, rather than having a dab. And it really worked. You know, it in the end, it really worked. It took a lot of work, but that was really rewarding. You know,
Or even just to say, like, just turn around and, like, look back at what you just rode and say, like, hey, I just rode over that, or I just rode up that hill.
And then,
Like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that
itself
happens
is a
that
pretty
happens
big...
to everybody. Like, there's, like, I've heard of, like, Sam Hill and Richie Rude and those guys. They just turn around and they're like, oh, wow, I just rode that. What?
I mean, how many times has that happened
Yeah.
to you? You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I've, like...
Whoa, I
there's,
just
like,
did that,
Yeah,
yeah.
I write down stuff and I'm like, what?
I lived?
Like,
Yeah,
come
okay.
on, live?
but you realize,
Am I
like,
still living?
you're here
Yeah.
and you made it. Okay, so my abilities are greater than what I think.
Yeah, and then
Maybe
you
I should
can
try, you know?
try more stuff. and
Exactly.
that's the element of progression that we try to drill into kids' heads.
Yeah.
That's
Safe
the
progression.
positive visualization as well.
I mean, that's
Yeah, just-
you come up to an object, right? I'm assuming we're staring at it. I can do this. Do it. That makes
Yeah.
the difference
Go through
sometimes.
A couple
Would
plans
it
on
Exactly.
how to do it, but then
Ultimately, go through
yeah,
with it.
Ultimately, go through it.
The last couple times that I've crashed, I've looked at a trail and I've been like, huh, this is kind of sketchy, and then I'll just like stare at it and then I crash.
Yeah.
It's the positive it's like the positive mindset.
Creates that confidence in you
Yeah.
to just, I can do this.
I
You
think
know?
the mountain biking or outdoor sports, action sports, kind of mountain biking, motocross, skiing, anything like that. It happens more often than baseball or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because baseball, you walk up to the plate. First at bat, I visualize getting a hit. Okay, you get that hit. Are you going to do that 75 more times this season? No. You walk into a mountain biking and you come up and you're like, okay, I've done this once. Let's try this again, that thing. And then a whole nother obstacle that you've never seen, and you get to see this in, basically, you can ride it many times, but see this in
So
different
new.
facets of sports.
It's
that-
new.
Yeah,
It's something.
new.
It's not just a
And it's not
repeated pattern
walking
of
up to the
things.
plate 6 times a game.
Exactly.
Pitching 100 pitches a game. It's not repetition. It's seeing different things as you go.
And further than that, weather changes it too.
Yeah.
I've rode this
Mud.
trail in the dry. It's great. Oh, mud.
Yeah,
I need to air down my pressure. Like something's the root's gonna be slippery. It's a whole different ballgame sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
So I am going to cut in here. We do have to kind of shut down a little
Look
bit.
at that. We're going till the
Coming
lights
up
are
on
off in the
our- Yep.
library.
Yep.
Ooh.
Thanks
I-
for that, Nick.
That was so good. We don't have to add that in.
I will ask if there are any like kind of final little like closing quick. We do have to be fairly
Go
quick.
ride bikes.
That's a good one. That's a good one to end
Ride
on.
bikes.
Anyone else have anything to add? I think
No, just a couple plugs to find out more about the Bobcats. NEHSCA Bobcats. That's NEHSCA Bobcats.weebly.com because we don't have money to buy our own domain. Instagram at NEHSCA_Bobcats, or you can go to NEHSCA.com. And one of the cool places you can go if you really want to see what a NEHSCA race is, Dirtwire, Tom Parsons has all of the races videoed
Very good point.
on
I know
his
that.
I
web,
believe
on
we do
his
have
YouTube.
those on our website.
It's on
too.
it's on our
Or
Bobcat
our
website as
Bobcat
well.
website,
But
so
if you want to
it's
see a
always-
race from the past 4 years, Tom Parson
It's
has
there.
them all
I
on
believe it's
video.
dirt
Does a good
underscore
job.
wa- Or
He's awesome.
dirtwire.tv
He's the man.
on YouTube.
Dirtwire.tv.
I just
You gotta
have
scroll
one
down a little
last
bit.
closing remark that really. So, can you show them your donut socks?
Oh, God. I was like, what is he looking down for?
Donuts
It's not
are a
looking.
big staple of the
Donuts are-
Bobcat coaching.
So donuts are big, but
Oh.
donut socks
yeah.
are better,
Homer Simpson ones.
and donut fanny packs are the best.
All right, so question. Has anybody been to Providence? And if you have, need donuts or PB donuts? Which one?
PBD.
Okay, thank you. All right. If you're going to eat a box of cereals on a donut, it's there, basically. All right. All right. Colonial, I
PBDs
heard,
are
is good.
baked.
I haven't
They're
heard that.
baked at PVD, so
Oh, I did
they're
not
not
know.
oily or anything.
That's the difference.
Better
Donut talk.
quality.
Donut talk.
I can't even eat
Hey,
this.
Riley's getting antsy.
Next week we have
Put on
donut
donuts,
talk.
please.
I would love to
Donut talk.
Donut
Next time
talk.
on Donut Talk. Come on,
Next-
let's go to
Come on down
Donut Talk.
Providence.
Donut taste comparison.
All your favorite donut related news.
Donut.
I'm gonna crawl her out of here.
That was good. Listen, I love
on
those
that
jokes. I
bombshell.
love that. On that note,
On that note, back
thanks
to the
for-
studio.
thanks for everybody for coming in. For real, this
Yeah,
has been
thank you, guys.
something new. We didn't know how this was going to go. It went great. Everybody here contributed. It was awesome, and I appreciate you guys taking the time. I know everyone's busy and everybody wants to be out biking. I saw it was snowing, but I think still you guys want to be biking at some point. Thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it. Wish everybody luck 2020.
Merry
I know-
Liftmas to all.
Merry
Yeah.
Liftmas to all.
Enjoy
Like I
a good
said,
night.
at NEHSCA_Bobcats on Instagram, NEHSCABobcats.weebly.com. Check out.
We'll post
Reg.
all that stuff too.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
he's getting out of here. He's gonna get us here. Guys, thanks for joining us today, and
worked up
we'll have
there.
some more coming down the pipeline for you. So don't worry, we got some more episodes coming up.
Yeah, we'll see you guys
Goodness.
again.
Signing off. We're gonna do an outro where it's copyright striked on YouTube right now.
Dun, dun,
We're gonna work on that.
dun.